Hello, today I'd like to show you Vintage Vibe Bird Lovers Junk Journal. Oh my, I spotted this book in the thrift store and it had been unused, like no writing in it or anything, but it was dated. It was 2009, it had 2009 here, so I've replaced that with a faux pearl brad and curlicue thing that kind of imitates this. And I added a spine dangle. You can see here the original title of this book. It said Nesting 2009 Calendar. And I've used some of the pages. I've kept some of the pages and used them in here, the loveliest pages. Here's a spine dangle that also imitates the curlicues on there and picks up some of the colors from this lovely picture here. And a little bird. I have a cold, so my voice might not sound like it usually does, but I think I feel well enough to do a flip through. So here I am. Oh, and I forgot to mention on the spine, on the signature strings, I put some green and some off-white beads. Go with the nature theme. I think they go really nice with the cover. Got really excited to make this one. I think I started making it the day after I got this. That's how much I was excited about this. So I've got a tie here, very simple one. Just put together two of these. And on the back, it's original, just as it was. I did expand the spine. The original spine was only this thick, and then I added some cardstock layers to make the spine wider. I guess we should measure this. I'm out of practice. Okay, I slept so good last night. I hadn't slept well for a few nights, but Tylenol and going to bed early really helped. 12 inches tall. And that's why it's a little hard to get it in screen today, and 6.5 wide, and the spine is 1.25. So she is tall and chunky. Again, I thought maybe I could do this one and not have it so chunky, but yeah, no, not even sure that's possible. But I always have that goal. Yeah, I haven't made it yet, I don't think. But the thing is that honestly, if you just take out a bunch of stuff that's in here, because there's lots of stuff in here that's not attached. Oh, by the way, this spins. I didn't want to try to glue that. It's held on with this. Yeah, you could remove a bunch of stuff and it would come right back to, well, to probably 1.25. But chunky is kind of fun. So this is an original page from the book, but I've added some writing space here. This had the title and everything there, and this was the original cover. It's kind of waxy, so you can't really glue on it super well, but I did manage to get a little thing here to tuck this in. This is made from a card, little journaling book, and I think it's a vintage card. It's been tea dyed. And there's one of my faux wax seals with a little bit of fern leaf from my garden. And oh, I collect my threads, yes. Yeah, I could almost be featured on hoarders for my threads and my buttons, but maybe not quite, because they haven't taken over the house yet. So yeah, these are threads I collected, and then what I did is I put them on, I think I did, how did I do that? I forgot already. Yeah, I forgot already. I think I put it on some masking tape and then I sewed it on as well onto some tea-dyed paper here, and then I made it into a tuck spot. Lots of different colors threads, because this reminds me of especially the hummingbirds. They collect things from our dryer vent to make their nests with, and yeah, strings and threads and things. And here, this was something I picked up a while ago from the thrift store. It was in an unopened package. And here's the original price on it. It was from Simpson Sears, 69 cents. So I thought, well, I'll include this in there as a little journal spot, just for interest's sake. So put that there. And here's a little journaling spot here and on here. That's a card, Queen of Hearts. I love this lace. Okay, so we got writing space on here, we got writing space in here. So you know I really like to have lots of writing space in the journals. On this page, we have some more of that lovely lace. Tuck spot there, journaling here, and a little tuck spot there. I think this is vintage. 1983, is that vintage? This is, I repurposed some parts of some greeting cards to do this. And this is an envelope, tea-dye paper. Open it up and we've got a journaling spot here. And this flips open like this. And we've got journaling card there made from a greeting card. Some little tags in here. And there's a tuck spot there as well. And this flips and you can write in there as well. Yeah, I really had fun making this one. There's a bird there. Here's one of the original pages. Love the buttons they have on it. And the flowers. So pretty. So vintage looking too. I turned this greeting card into a little flip down here. And then it holds this card. This is from a magazine. That picture. And this here, these owls, this is also from a magazine. And I've used some tea bag to cover over it to give it an old look. And it's been Mod Podged on here onto some old book page. Waverly, I think it's 100 years old, that book page. And then some tea-dyed cardstock on the back too. And some sewing around the edge. Writing space. Tuck spot here. I'm trying to make that look like a stamp, and that's just a magazine picture, but I love the colors. And 2 owls. Little tab here. And this paper here is from a book of papers that are, yeah, they're copies of William Morris wallpaper. And on this side I made a little pocket, and there's a little journal card made from some of the paper from the leftover papers, which there's quite a few, so I'll be using them in other things too. Some vintage ledger paper. And on this page we've got a little pocket here with a tea-dyed picture that I took of a, I'm not sure if I say this right, pileated woodpecker, or pileated, I don't know how to say it. Anyways, brilliant colors this bird has, but I did a black and white of it. And he is looking, I think, right at me because I'm taking a picture of him through my window. That's our old cherry tree. It's an ugly old cherry tree, but because the birds like it so much, I'm really hesitant to take it down. And we get to see a lot of birds because of that tree. Almost every day I spot something in it. Here's a little memo paper there, and a little tab. And on the other side we've got an altered paper clip. Oh my goodness, it's really altered. I love this little button that kind of matches that. And there's a bird that I've put on there, fussy cut and put on there. And there's some little pages to write on. And this slips off, it's just like that. And I've hand stitched the signature closed. And this was just scraps from another project. I've been really dipping into my scrap box lately, and it's inspiring. That's some vintage paper there. And that was from a Dover book I had, which I've since taken apart and used to tea-dyed all the parts from it. And there's some writing space there. This slips out. Lots of writing space. This is coffee dyed. I'm starting to do that again too. Coffee dyeing. I notice the aroma, which I do like, but it goes away after a couple of days. It's not strong at all. And I had some fun with some feathers. Sometimes when I get things from the thrift store, there'll be a bag of crafting things, and there was a bag of feathers, and oh, what am I gonna do with the feathers? But instead of just giving it back, when I take stuff back there that I decide I don't want, I kept it, and I'm glad I did, because it's come in handy for fixing some of the cat's toys, because we don't want them to eat the feathers, so if they pull a feather out I have to put a new one in. And yeah, that's come in handy for this. Vintage lace here. This isn't vintage, but I like how it looks, and I think that's a vintage button, and I don't know if this is vintage or not. I tea-dyed this, but I like it there. And on this side, oh, this button is so old I couldn't sew it on. It cracked right through there, so I glued it on. But I love that green. It goes nice with the green in this postcard, which I believe is yeah, probably a vintage one. Pretty. I included a few Edith Holden pages in here, and I just can't cut them up and I can't cover things, so I use them usually as flips so that you can still see both sides. There's a little fussy cut there, feather there, ledger paper there, and a tuck spot here. I didn't fill up everything in here, but oh my goodness, almost. Let's see, how did I have that? I think I had like that. Doesn't really matter. And that's vintage seam binding. I think that's, yeah, seam binding. And this is made from a greeting card. And that's old paper there, but I did tea dye it. But I sure love how it feels and how it takes up the dye. This is from a vintage book. In fact, somewhere in here I've got I think it's from 1977, this book. I've got the year somewhere in here. And this is also from a vintage bird book. And there's lots of room to write in here. If it was mine, I definitely would write in it. But I liked having the information there too. And that's from a book, Bird Songs. Was missing the CD or cassette or whatever with this book, so I'm glad taking that out. Didn't have the bird songs with it after all. There's a little tag there, fussy cut bird, and this pocket also has writing space here. Vintage button, vintage lace. Don't think this is a vintage card, but it was too cute not to put in here. 1995. And of course you got to have a pink feather with that. And I stamped a little flamingo up there too. That was fun. Oh, another lovely Edith Holden one, and I thought this all went well with it. So got a little tag here, the fussy cat bird on it, and space to write on the back. A little bit of bling. Take these out. You can flip this and see the back. The writing's still there to read. And there's, oh, I actually didn't fill another pocket or tuck spot. Amazing. Yeah, I like that together. And this here kind of picks up some of the colors from the bird as well. Isn't this beautiful artwork in this book? Just love it. So excited when I found it. And here I think is another vintage postcard. And I can't read what language that is. The back. But it's definitely lovely. Some trim and a vintage button. And I stamped a swan to go with the swans. And this was made, I think, from a greeting card. But I like how the tea dyeing came out on the back of that. And this is from a vintage bird book. Vintage ledger. Oh, 1977. So that was where, I gotta remember which book was that, because there's several books I was using. Anyways, I don't remember which book. Little tuck spot there. Journaling space on there. And this was an idea that I did a long time ago, and I got it from maybe Pam at the Paper Outpost, I don't remember. But how you can make a little like library card holder out of a book page, and I used some bird book page that just had the printing. I wasn't covering up any pictures, but you can read a little bit behind there. And then I put 3 different sizes of vintage plain book page in there as journal cards. And they just slide in there. There. And did some stamping. I was surprised how many bird-related stamps I had. Here we've got a picture from my vintage bird book and a little tag here with a rooster stamped on it, right on the back. And I sewed something shiny. I just thought it went nice with this page, some contrast. And here's some paper from the original from this book, made into a flip. And there's a fussy cut bird there. And this is made from a greeting card, nicely dyed on the back and front. And this is, oh, I thought this was sweet. This is from a magazine. I've had this in my stash for a while, and this, I thought this is a perfect page for this. And it's on tea-dyed cardstock with some sewing. Did some stamping there. Lots of writing space. And when you see these pages, there's a picture of a bird and there's a quote on them too. So we're on to the second signature, and this is from a vintage bird book. Some ledger, some, oh, I love the feel of this vintage paper. Another quote there. That's almost got a Christmassy look, that there. And I carried on the red theme a little bit over there. Little tab. It's from Fabric Samples. So it's fabric and cardstock. A little tag I made, and I don't remember if this is from an encyclopedia or a magazine or a book. That was from my stash. I think it was a magazine, but I don't remember. And that's a problem when you're collecting stuff. And if you do it too far ahead, you don't remember where it came from. Some stamping there and writing space there. I like how the tea dyeing came out on this paper. Edith Holden, of course. Oh my. Another quote. Vintage cardstock from a book. And oh, this is a magazine picture, but I'm glad that he's not like hurting himself, but he thinks that is a competitor, I guess. And I've seen birds do that. I put some scraps of fabric on either side and sewed it onto some tea-dyed cardstock and turned it into like a little journaling booklet with some pockets. And it's held on there by a paper clip that is an altar paper clip that's got an owl there with some lace on it too, or pardon me, ribbon, tea-dyed ribbon. And on this side we've got owls. We've got, this one is from a vintage bird book. There's an owl. And another page from a different book. I like the rich colors in there. And here's some paper that came with this book. I've turned it into a journal spot here. Tea-dyed paper added, and there's a fussy cut, and I included this because there's a little bird on there. That's so sweet. And a little birdhouse with a bird stamp. When I saw that, I was like, yes, I have to have that. And that was something I'd thrifted. Here's an owl picture that I took from either the spare room or the upstairs bathroom. Yeah. We get owls around here quite a bit. Rooster. I wish I could have got a picture of this one. I guess it was a white owl? Snowy owl? I don't know. Anyways, it was a different color and it was really fluffy and cute. And we've only seen that once. Another beautiful original page from this book. And this, I thought went nice with this. This was, I got this the last time I went thrifting. And this person, it said that they make things from repurposed papers. And it's got their signature there. And you can write inside. Anyways, I thought it was worth putting in here because you'll never see another one like that again. And I put a bird stamp there. A little bit of writing paper there. Lots of writing space and another quote. Bird envelope that has a journal card here, some stamping on it. There's some stamping there. And here, I love this paper. Some vintage bird book, just a little small one. And this makes me think of a little bird, so that's why I put that paper clip in here. I only have one of those. It's holding this little sort of booklet. Let me just take that out for a second. So what we've got here is journaling space here and here. A little tuck spot there. And here, it's journaling space and tuck spot here. And you can also journal, of course, in here. And that goes on here. And a paper clip. Yeah, it makes me think of a little bird. And on this page, I needed to cover up just some stuff from the book that was on here, some bunch of words. And so I made a pocket that also has a tuck underneath. And put 2 journal tags there with some vintage blue seam binding, which picks up the blue one here. I tea-dyed these pages too when I took the book apart, the ones that I chose to use in here. Lovely artwork. A little journal card here, and this opens up into some extra journaling space. I didn't want to cover up very much on this page. That William Morris art. And there's a little tab there, and some writing space here. Notice I didn't cover out the bird. Oh, and this, I don't remember what this is from, but it's got these little teeny squares on it. This is naturally aged. I didn't do anything to this. Anyways, I don't know that it wasn't from a stamp book or what, but it's interesting. Lovely. Another Edith Holden picture. Lips, and then you can see the writing on the back, writing space. And this paper, oh, I thought the colors went perfect in here, so I had to put this in. And I've turned this into writing space here, but also a pocket, so you can journal. And on this side as well. And I think this is vintage wrapping paper. I just came across this recently. So putting that in here, because if you open it up, you can write on the back. Or you can use it for collaging. But it has some birds on it. I guess this might have been shower paper or wedding paper, I don't know. I think it's lovely, lovely. This is from a little bird journal book I got from the thrift store as well. Some quotes on it. And this here, I did some waxing of some paper. So I think this was ordinary. I don't remember now. Already forgot. Yeah, anyways, I've been waxing some papers. And I stamped this one first. So I think this was regular paper. And then I didn't want to cover up either of these bird pictures from this bird book. So what I did is I just put a writing space down like this. So you can write on either side, and it folds up, and you can still see the lovely couple here and this one here. And I think it looks cool how it shows through there. Yeah, waxing paper. Oh, I'm having fun with that. And this here was this from a magazine? Yeah, because I had to back it onto some tea-dyed cardstock. That was lovely. Some washi tape here for reinforcement on this old cardstock. It's been tea-dyed. I think the tea dyeing weakened it too much. In every walk with nature, one receives far more than he seeks. I love being out in nature. And there's some vintage seam binding there. Little tag there. Decided to try to match up with the picture, the blues and the greens. Some more vintage book page. And yeah, this is naturally aged, this paper. And this, like, again, like that other page, is just lovely warm colors. Here I put some scrap fabric, wove it through there. I literally pulled it out of my scrap bin, which I have just up here in a, if I pull this out, I wonder if you can see it. I'm going to put this back, of course. See, I have this drawer here where I put things in so that when I'm working on a journal, I don't have to go look through my hordes of fabric. I can just look in there if I want, and then I'm more likely to use something besides paper. So I've learned if I get in the flow, I need to make it so that I can just grab something. Well, this is tea-dyed cardstock with the hummingbird on there, and I use 3 different colors to pick up these colors here. This fabric kind of goes with it too. That's an altar paper clip, and a little tag here. Some of the fabric is fraying. And on this side, I turned a greeting card into a journal card and stamped on top of it. One of my favorite stamps. She's holding a little bird. And this was fun. I think this is vintage lace, and I just got this recently, so of course I had to use it right away. Put a little flower on there with a button to match the colors here. And it's a journal spot in there and on the back. And here's the rest of that card. Turned that also into a journal tag. Got wax paper, little altar paper clip down here. I think these are vintage ones. They almost look like copper. Yeah, if I see vintage paper clips, I just grab them. Another quote there and here. I think I hear somebody home downstairs. The door just closed, so I might get an interruption, but we can do that. That's from a magazine, because right when family shows up, it's never an interruption. Yes, it's a happy thing. Envelopes and some tea-dyed paper with some stamping on there for journaling on, and greeting card turned into a journal card. And this, one of my little silk samples that I am managing to find more of, which is nice, in my stash. This is from the vintage bird book, and I turned it into a little journal booklet. Tea-dyed papers in it, and a little pocket here. Hello, dear. Okay. Yeah, I said hello, dear. I'm just recording right now. Glad you're home. I just blew him a kiss. And we've got here, this is funny. He's a little bird. He's got a mushroom on his head, a dragonfly, a moon, a little guy with wings. So I guess a fairy, butterfly, fairy. And this little fellow there. He looks like a dwarf. Yeah. Anyways, I turned this into a greeting, or this greeting card into a journal card. So on the back it's tea-dyed and has room to write. Whimsical. And on this side, I have a altar paperclip, and yeah, that's what's holding the other thing on. And I made a little booklet out of some of the paper from this book. And just added some writing space and a little pocket in there. Oh, I'm actually finding pockets that aren't stuffed. Yes, I'm just not sure how this book is going to fit into a box, but I have a bigger box I might use instead. That is lovely paper. A little stamp there that says smile. And on this side I put cherish. Oh, and this was fun. This is made from a magazine picture on top of some of my, see, I did this with food colorings and this with tea. So it's a journaling space. Sewed around it. And there's a faux wax seal with one of my flowers from the garden, and an envelope here that's been tea dyed. It has a hummingbird on it, and has another whimsical picture here. I don't know if you can see, there's birds, but there's also a horse. Interesting artwork. And a little tuck spot here. And some more what I believe is vintage lace that I just picked up with the same time I got that other lace. And I had to use it right away because it's too pretty not to. And then with some of the leftover paper, I made a kind of booklet. Let's open up and see. Love, love, love this picture. Inside is places to write, tea-dyed paper. It tucks in here. And up here it says handmade by, and I put my little short signature and the date. And I made this stamp. I don't know if I still have this stamp. I really like it. But what I did is I stamped it onto a piece of book page which has a bird on it. And I've had that for a while. And when I realized, oh, that would be good. And here, plus the colors, it goes perfect. You almost can't see it. It makes me think that I might just do that for all the journals. Find a picture that goes with it, stamp on it. So I reinforced the spine with some fabric here. And extra cardstock on the sides when I expanded it. Three signatures, so it's not going anywhere. Well, I almost didn't record this today because I started getting excited about the next journal already, and then it's hard to get me onto one train of thought when I'm on another one. But then I went, no, this one's done. I got it done yesterday. I didn't record it yesterday because my throat was worse than it is today. And also, I was just tired, but that good sleep I had last night really makes a difference. Let me know what you think. Do you think it's too tall? Like, would you enjoy using a 12-inch? It's 12 inches, right? Yep. Yeah. I actually had one that was taller and a little bit wider, and I did find if it's too wide and too tall, it's a little trickier to use, but it's great if you want to have lots of space to get, whatever you want to write for that day, and maybe add some pictures or some sketches or whatever. It's perfect for that. So if it doesn't find a home, I'll be happy to keep her for sure. Take care. Thank you for watching. I appreciate you.